Hello again, this is kirbyone, and you're here for your daily dose of Dominions. So I'm gonna cover a couple of verbal typos that I had last game. First off is obviously the Air 6 Bless, Air Shield. I actually did try a couple of pretenders that I thought would be fun to play with Air Shield. Like, for example, I tried out the Destroyer of Worlds. He has air and death cross paths. I wanted to do like a crazy air 6, death 10, air shield fear kind of thing for the Yavanas and such. It was too expensive, and then you have to trash your scales to get an Awake Pretender, and also in order to get enough Dominion to recruit enough Yavanas or Guyakas in order to make it viable or any fun. You could do it with like a pretender who has only 1 point of Dominion, like a Rainbow Pretender or something like that. But really, I just think that Earth and Fortitude and just getting your protection up in general helps against more than just arrows. It helps against other things as well in all forms of the combat. So that's why I decided to go with that instead. Paired that up with the regeneration, and it works out really nicely for me in this game. Another thing I wanted to add, I'm going to jump right in here, and I'll actually add that afterward. So here we're going to see already a couple of the people I'm going up against. Amor Tianchi, Helheim, this is me, Yomi, and Hinam. There are some other people in the game too. I completed Thaumaturgy, and this guy appears. Now we're playing with Worthy Heroes, which is actually the guy who hosted the game didn't realize it at the time. It's actually an outdated patch of the Worthy Heroes thing at the time, but it doesn't matter. So I got him. He's part of the Worthy Heroes patch, and I didn't do any research into what the Worthy Heroes are before I started this game, so him showing up is really, really awesome for me. I was super excited to have him on turn 2, but he became triple redundant because of this guy, so I didn't really know what to do with him. It's a little too early for me to have enough troops to double or triple expand, and so he just sat around for a turn or two researching and he preaching, which is all he can do. So I didn't really plan this out super well. Eventually I actually realized that he can actually pretty much expand by himself with Trample, huge protection, Divine Blessing. He can bless himself, get Fortitude and Regeneration, and just destroy everything basically by himself. So I wind up doing that later on. What else? Research, preach, move. Okay, so I set this guy up to have these guys attack rear. This is back in the patch before we actually got the attack rear slight nerf, and also the new Makone Nation. I think that's how you pronounce it, Makone. I set these guys up to just shoot at people, and these guys to hold and shoot at people, and then run in for... Oh no, they're not... Yeah, so they have sticks and stones, which some people think is great, and you can do like fire arrows and stuff. Unfortunately, there isn't any fire in this nation, so it's kind of pointless unless you deliberately go for it, which I'm not doing. But I set these guys up here to be meat shields and arrow catchers, while these guys go in and snipe the commanders, hopefully. Over time, I decided that because of the whole friendly fire arrow thing, these guys, I would really, on my first turn, if I did it differently, leave at home, because they are not good at anything that I've found. I might even leave these guys at home because more often than not they just rout in the first battle with their awesome morale. And this is in the Dominion and home province morale, so they have actually really bad morale. So I could either kill them off or just leave them at home and just expand with these guys. Honestly, I don't know how Patal or middle-aged Bandar Log expands. I guess maybe with like elephants and the tiger riders, but I haven't really tried them a whole lot. It's just these guys with their awe and all of their stuff is just really easy to expand with. I mentioned in my last video that I don't really have a use for the Yakshinis, Water Nature. That is completely wrong, because Water Nature allows me, once I get Construction 2, it allows me to forge Clam of Pearls, which is also awesome, and allows me to then stick Clam of Pearls on my Pretender or on a Guru, who I'm recruiting a Guru, and I'm recruiting more of these guys now. So I stick a Clam of Pearls on a Guru and stick him in a communion with 2 yogis, and he can cast Light of the Northern Star. And then every single one of my yogis can cast Mind Burn. So over time in playing this game, because I mentioned that this game is the first game of multiplayer Dominions that I've ever played, I came to the decision that the greatest strength of early age Kailasa is actually their research ability and their yogis and gurus, their army of yogis and gurus. These guys are great, and eventually they'll over time mass into a large force that is really strong and really terrifying, but the yogi and guru combination will just wreck most things that I've come across, as you'll probably see over the course of the game, while these guys tend to just die slowly but surely. And once you get research, you can actually get the ones that you want. So what else for this turn? Airmore wound up getting a lot of mercenaries over the course of the game. As I watched that happen, I did not willingly spend money on them. But yeah, so I'm going to expand this way. I didn't actually check what the incomes were in my Dominion. This probably would have been a good choice to get some extra boost early on, but I wanted to go kind of like up and around this way, I think, with my expansion, with my first expansion. I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I do remember that I completely forgot him, and he just sits on the throne telling me all about these earth gnomes and burgmeisters and sorceresses and doing nothing for this turn. I do remember that next turn, and he does move south, so we get to explore some more. And later on in this game, I do become much better at my scouting. But I think really that's all for now. And so I'm going to cut it here and see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.